Alright guys, quick update. As you can see, it's dark. Something's going on. I got a little ahead of myself and I didn't really film too much of me swapping the hanger over, but I got most of the stuff installed. Just a quick peek real quick. Quite a mess in there. I got everything. I basically got the point where I started the car. I hooked everything up, everything was great as far as that part went, but something happened during the attempt to start. So this is a 30 amp fuse. This is what the extra one that comes with to run the second pump. Fuse is blown. Not sure why. I set the wire up for the trigger to trigger the second pump to run, and I heard the relay click, so I know that's working, but the pump didn't come on. But I don't know when the actual fuse blew. And number two is the first pump number one, the same pump I've been using and the same wiring I was using. When I went to turn the car on and it would prime the pump for the 3 seconds it would run, no fuel pressure. I didn't have anything. Although I can hear the pump and I can hear it running, I'm not getting any fuel pressure. I don't know if it's just taking time for itself to prime or not, but it wasn't actually doing anything. So I went in the ECU and I turned on that pump and ran it for a few seconds longer just to see, and that didn't do anything. And I don't want to run it too long because it's not good to run them. I don't know how good you can run them, you know, like that in that scenario. And I don't even know what the issue is, so I don't want to run it too long. So I made a ghetto rig setup. Well, I already put it away, but basically, that's what happens when you let ethanol sit for like a year and a half. I think that's just rust and water and absorption and a bunch of nastiness, right? That's yucky, but some old ethanol that I had laying around. I put the hanger inside this tank. I then have a doohickey thing here, which connects to a battery. I took my old Odyssey, but new Odyssey battery, and I ran both pumps. I hooked them directly up to battery and both pumps run great. So it doesn't seem like I blew the pumps, doesn't seem like the pumps were blown and caused all this issue. So I don't know, that's kind of weird. I followed the directions, and honestly you can't mess up the directions. You can't mess things up, right? The way they have it sent to you, the components and everything, you can't mess it up. It just works, plug and play. So I'm gonna dig into a little bit and I'll get back to you and let you know what I find. So quick recap, I think yesterday I spoke about me having some, or last night I spoke about me having some issues with the fuse blowing and the wiring and stuff. Looks like that was a fluke. As far as everything goes, everything's working now. So this is all the relays and stuff. So this right here is the second fuse for this fuel pump, and that was the one that blew on me. O'Reilly's carries these for like $5.30. They're kind of expensive, so I bought two of them just in case. I went back and I pulled this fuel pump out, or fuel hanger out, checked over it 100% again. This is a pain, just let you know, like, not pain, but it's not as easy as the stock was, but that's fine because you have wiring connectors and stuff you have to plug in and stuff and everything else. And getting these here, come over here. Getting these stock SAE connectors, these quick connectors here, plugged in is kind of a pain. This one not too bad. It's a little angled, stretched. This one you have to kind of pretty much get this hose out of the way completely. Get this hose like jammed in, and now it's doing this weird funny S thing all the way through to come down. And then you have and make sure you definitely plug in the quick connect first and then tighten down your AN fitting, because you're not going to get it straight. And be careful you don't strip the AN fitting. I started to a little teeny bit and I felt it and I caught it. It's best if you kind of get something back here like a wedge, like a screwdriver, and you push forward on this wire to keep it straight, so when you tighten it down it doesn't do anything bad. And then this hose, which is going to be on this side of this hose as well, you're going to have to get it back underneath on this side. So you're going to have to like do some calisthenic aerobatic nonsense to get that hose to fit underneath and come around and connect here again. So I think the next time I have a chance and I feel like I want to do it, I'm going to drop this whole entire tank, which sucks because you have to literally drop the whole drive or rear end, everything, differential and stuff, to drop the tank. And I'm going to remove all those evaporative hoses and stuff. I think there's like 2 or 3 hoses that run along the inside here that I can remove that will make it easier to get to. Plus, when I do go to run AN lines eventually, sometime in the future, as long as this holds up, I have no reason to do it yet. It'll make it easier to do as I do that process. So, yes, I went back and I checked all the connectors in this thing when I moved it out. I made sure to tighten it down. These things, they're a little annoying, right? So maybe I didn't tighten them enough or something, but at least it feels like I did at least. When you tighten down these black caps on each one of these, it spins the whole bolt, even the stuff underneath. So I'm kind of under the impression that maybe I spun these bolts too far when I was tightening them, and something touched each other or grounded out or something, and that's what blew my fuse. I'm guessing that's what possibly happened. So the whole system did its job. The fuse blew, protected it, blah, 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 and that's why the pump wasn't working as well the first time. So this time around, when I put these black caps on, I basically just put on the ratchet, and I pushed it to where they barely moved a millimeter. And when they moved a millimeter, I stopped. So I don't know how tight these are. I mean, they're tight enough, but maybe I'll have to check them again when I do a little drive. Battery cut out, so I'll check these again when I do a little drive. But as far as this goes, I did put the ECU in. I kept out the second pump fuse here, and I started the car, and everything, the pump ran. I could hear it, and I could hear it priming. So that wasn't doing that the first time. So I'm assuming I definitely messed up some kind of grounding or something when I did it. So just be extra careful with all these wiring and the way you tighten them down underneath and on top, just to make sure it's perfect. I like the idea that Radium decided to go with here. It's just, you just have to be careful, that's all. Then I plugged in, then I took the battery cable off again. Every time you plug in a fuse, I'm taking the battery cable off. I don't know, that's 30 amps. I don't know how much. I don't want to get shocked. I don't want to blow anything, whatever. I'm crazy. So I plugged in a second fuse. I turned on the key, and I heard the first pump prime again. No problem. So I'm assuming that I just messed up somewhere. Ugh, I just messed up somewhere as long with the fuse and the connectors or something like that. So as long as it primed, it was good. Come on, camera, there we go. I haven't tested the second pump right now, so I think right now I'm going to button everything back up together and turn the car on, go for a drive, and kick on that second pump and make sure it does. Right now I think I have the triggers set to, let's go take a look. Here's the, oh, you can see me. Hey. Damn, this screen is glaring. We're gonna go to outputs here. So you have the standard, I don't know if you guys can actually see that. On my screen it's blurry. Yeah, okay. So for the fuel pump here, you have your regular standard control, and then for here, well, you're seeing what I'm seeing and everything. Maybe I'll post a picture. But basically, injector 7, which is my was my rear O2 sensor, is now going to fire the trigger with condition 1 and 2 set. I'm also going to set an RPM now, so there'll be 3 conditions. The first one is fuel pump 1 running at more than 90% duty cycle? So that will trigger it based on that. So because of the cool thing of the fuel pump control, 33, 66, and 99%, I want it to only trigger when it's above 90%, because then it knows the first pump's running full. Next trigger that it has to also be there is boost pressure above 15 psi. And the third one will be, is RPM above, we'll say 500 or 100, so that for some weird reason, if the engine does stall, I get in a crash, something does happen, that is also a condition to shut the pump off as well, just for safety. So yeah, let me get this all together, button it back up, go for a drive, and report back. Dude, I'm excited. Yes, I'm excited. Finally get all the fuel I need. See ya.